Assalamualaikum students. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about simple probability, what basically a probability is, what its formula, and how we are going to use it in very simple terms. Because if you know the basics of the probability only, then you will better understand the more difficult concepts that are related to the probability, like probability diagrams, the tree diagrams, and other things. So first, let's talk about what simply the probability is. So probability is about working how likely is that a particular event will happen. Like if we want to check how likely a particular event will happen, we will work through the probability. For example, like some of the flights, because they can usually predict with some great deal of the accuracy that how likely is this that certain number of passengers will fail to arrive. So they will use this term probability. So what's basically the formula related to probability is that is basically probability of A. A can be any event, okay? A over here is that can be termed to any event, okay? That can be any kind of event. It can be like the number of days accordingly, okay, like how many times or what's the probability of Thursday in a week, okay, in this way. So any event can be there at the place of A, and number of that is basically equals to the number of time event occur over the number of total number of possible outcomes. And in simple terms, this can be also written as probability of an event A, and it's equals to the number of times an event is going to occur. Like that's right now I'm talking about event A, so I'm going to write NA means the number of times an event occur and the total number of possible outcomes in a sample space. Okay, now the terms that I'm using, like for example, I told like sample space over here. Okay, S is for the sample space. Okay, and this is basically the probability of that particular event, like how many times an event occur. In a very simple example, if we will be talking about related to this thing, for example, if we have a die, okay, if we have a die and we want to check that how many times 3 will occur in a die, rolling a die, so what is going to be the sample for this one event? Okay, the sample space is going to be the numbers that we are going to have in the die. If we will be having the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, these are the numbers that we used to have on a die, and we want to check that what is the probability that 3 will occur in a die. Okay, so if you will see, 3 is only one time over here out of total 6 possible outcomes. Like how many possibilities are there? Total 6 possibilities are there, and there is only one chance that 3 can occur. So the probability for this type of event is going to be 1 over 6. In a very simple terms, if we will be talking about using this formula, that how this formula is going to work. Okay, so this is like related to the very simple concept about the probability. Now the probability, this is very important that you must know that what is basically the range of probability. So if we will be talking about the range of the probability, so range of the probability only lies between 0 to 1. Okay, so in between we have 0.5. Probability can be only in between 0 and 1. So 0 related to the 0 are those events that cannot happen. Okay, those events that cannot happen, the probability of those kind of events will be 0. And the events that are certainly going to happen, okay, certain events will have the probability 1. Now, if the certain events are going to have the probability 1 and the events that cannot happen, they will have the probability as 0. So some of the events that are lying in between, they can have any probability, but that must not be less than 0 or greater than that of 1. So 0.5 will be the probability that have even chances. Even chances of happening means if we will be talking about a coin, okay, if simply a coin we will be talking about, the coin is having two possibilities. Either there can be head or either there can be tail, right? So there are equal chances that there can be head or there can be tail. So 0.5 is the probability for the head and 0.5 is the probability for the tail. If we will be simply like taking the similar formula that we were talking about before, so two total possibilities are there, like the formula that I just told you previously. So the probability of event A was equals to the number of outcomes of an event dividing by the number of or total possible outcomes. So if you will see, there are two possible outcomes, okay, two possible outcomes or total possible outcomes. And if we want to check what is the probability of getting an head, so that is going to be only one time. So 1 over 2 is also equals to 0.5. So this means that the head is having the equal possible outcomes and the tail as well. So it can be like in the category of evens. Evens means that there is equal chance of getting a head or getting a tail. Okay. So the probability is having the scale from 0 to 1. 0.5 is basically the probability for the events that are having the equal chance of happening, and there can be less than that of who are less likely to happen. And if your probability is more than that of 0.5, that will be like they are going to have more chances likely to happen. Okay. So this formula can be also used to find out the things or the certain events that can happen, or otherwise we can simply just check that if we know that these events are events, so directly we can say that these events can have the probability as 0.5. If another example we will take, like other than that of this, if we will be just rolling a die again, okay, roll a die. And what are basically the possible outcomes on the die? If we will be talking about the sample space, again, we will be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are basically the possibilities. Now we want to check that what is basically the probability of getting an odd number. Okay, I want to check probability of getting an odd number on a die. So we will see how many odd numbers actually we have over here in this category. So we have 1, 3, 5. These are odd numbers. So how many odd numbers I have over here, and dividing by the total number of possible outcomes. So 3 are the odd numbers over here. And how many total numbers we have? 6. So what we can write this one as 1 over 2 if I will simplify. So again, it means that there is 1 over 2 means even, again the evens like possibility over here is, so there is equal probability of getting an odd number or even number, because over here if you will see 2 4 no, like in this one if you will see 2 and 4, these are even numbers, and this the numbers that I'm talking about over here are odd numbers. So there is 1 over 2 is the probability for getting an odd number. Okay, similarly, you can check it for the example of the coins as well. Okay, so accordingly, we can check that what is the probability of getting a head or tail on for a coin. Now, the probability can be written in different terms. Like, for example, if we will be talking about, we can just go on with the fractional term as well. Okay, probability can be in the form of fraction, as just the way I told you that this is the example of fraction that we are getting the probability as 1 over 2. It can be in the form of decimal as well. Like we can just convert it in the decimal form as well, like 0.5 can be written, or we can have this one in the form of percentage as well. Okay, you can convert it into the percentage as well. Like we know that there are 50% chance of getting an odd number when we will just roll a die. Okay, now there are some terms that we are basically using when we are just talking about the probability. For example, if we are talking about the experiment, okay, most of the time we used to talk about the experiment. So what basically experiment is, so from the term as well you can easily get the idea that what experiment is, that if we are just having some of the action to process, so that action is going to be in terms of experiment. Okay, so what an experiment is, an action or a process that we are going to just use or apply. Okay, an action or process. It's basically an experiment that produces outcome. For example, rolling a dice, okay? if we have a coin, okay, flipping the coin, that can be the experiment. Now, after that, we will be getting the outcome. Okay, if we are rolling the dice, so what outcome we are getting? Either we are getting 4, either we are getting 3. That would be your outcome. Okay, so along with the experiment, we used to have outcome. So these are the important terms that if you are understanding these terms, what actually these terms are, so accordingly we can better understand what probability we are just talking about. Okay, so this is basically the possible result. It's basically the possible result. Now, the possible result will be like either we are having 4 on a die, either we are having 3 on a die. So this can be the possible result. Okay. So this is just simply a very simple example for the probability. For example, if we will be talking about one more example, let's take an example of tossing a coin. Okay. For example, if we have tossing a coin probability, so we will be having two possible outcomes. One is head and the one is tail. So when you will be finding out the probability of getting a head on a tail, okay, probability of getting a head on a tail. So what will be the probability? Only one times we have head out of total two possible outcomes, okay? So this can be written as 0.5 or 50% chance of getting a head or a tail, okay? More than that of this possible outcomes can be also like if we are having, if we are flipping 2 coins, 3 coins, so accordingly these terms will be different. Okay, so this was very simple explanation related to probability. Hope so you understand that the term probability, and see you until the next lecture. Lafis.